In 2025, the trade war between the United States and China has reached a critical juncture. Since the onset of Donald Trump's second term, the United States has imposed escalating tariffs on Chinese goods, rising from 10% in February to a staggering 125% by April, effectively halting normal trade between the two powers. China has responded in kind, with its Commerce Ministry matching United States tariffs and the Foreign Ministry pledging to, well, fight to the end. Amid this intense clash, Chinese society presents a complex and divided landscape. Official media and public discourse overwhelmingly endorse Xi Jinping's firm stance against Trump. On Weibo, citizens proclaim, "Stand firm against America, never yield," while People's Daily editorials assert the sky won't collapse, China is prepared. In 2025, China's economy stands on shaky ground. Local government debt exceeds 100 trillion yuan, the real estate sector remains sluggish, and the collapse of firms like Evergrande still, reverberates. Official GDP growth for 2023 to 2024 is reported at 5%, but actual progress likely falls short, hampered by declining exports and weak consumer demand. Youth unemployment surges over 20% in 2024, prices rise while wages stagnate, inequality grows, and middle-class confidence, honestly, just wanes. Farmers struggle with unsold harvests, professionals face rising costs, and students encounter job market barriers. Previously, such issues were often attributed to government missteps. The 2022 zero-COVID policies paralyzed the economy, and real estate policy failures eroded household wealth. Online, some quietly criticized Xi Jinping's centralized authority, viewing it as an obstacle to reform. Though not erupting publicly, these grievances posed risks to regime stability. The trade war's intensification offers the CCP a vital scapegoat. In early 2025, Trump's 125% tariffs batter Chinese exports, driving price hikes and supply chain disruptions that, affect daily life. The government seizes this external crisis, attributing economic troubles to the U.S. The Foreign Ministry denounces America for extreme pressure and coercion, while People's Daily asserts U.S. tariffs will hurt China, but we will endure. This narrative casts domestic woes as the fault of American imperialism, portraying Trump as a foe intent on China's demise, invoking memories of the century of humiliation. It positions the trade war as a battle for national survival beyond mere economics. Each group's response is carefully shaped. Farmers attribute crop sales struggles to U.S. agricultural suppression. Professionals see price spikes as a result of American aggression, overlooking domestic inflation sources. Students link job scarcity to U.S. containment, ignoring structural unemployment. Consequently, public frustration shifts from the government to the U.S., with nationalism acting as a social unifier. This deflection tactic is not novel. From 1959 to 1961, the Great Famine claimed an estimated 15 to 45 million lives. The Great Leap Forward's communal policies devastated agriculture, with inflated production claims and resource misallocations slashing grain yields. Yet the CCP attributed the crisis to 3 years of natural disasters and Soviet debt pressures, minimizing policy errors. Propaganda framed relentless bad weather as unavoidable and suggested Soviet demands to repay Korean War debts, partly in grain, exacerbated shortages. With information tightly controlled, urban residents knew little of rural suffering, and dissenters like Peng Dehuai were silenced, embedding the disaster and foreign pressure narrative. Public reactions then resemble those today. In 1960, farmers endured the famine's worst, resenting communes but unable to resist. Urban residents faced tight rations, accepting natural disasters as the cause. Youth, stirred by propaganda, blamed imperialists. Over time, the 3 years of natural disasters label took root, with textbooks vague and many still view it as misfortune, not human failure. The 2025 trade war mirrors this pattern. The government blames U.S. coercion for economic pain, downplaying structural issues. Censorship suppresses dissent, such as professionals' inflation concerns or students' job worries. Korean War references reinforce foreign oppression perceptions. Unlike 1960, the internet complicates total information control. Some professionals and students glimpse foreign media, fostering skepticism, but censorship and patriotic education ensure U.S. aggression dominates. For now, this blame-shifting succeeds. Social media reflects farmers, professionals and students supporting the firm stance, with the trade war framed as a new Korean War. Strengthening Xi's authority, the government conceals economic decline's roots, like stalled reforms or reliance on investment, evading accountability for policy lapses. However, this strategy is precarious. The trade war may disrupt supply chains and increase unemployment, with farmers' unsold crops, professionals' rising expenses, and students' jobless futures pushing limits. In the famine's later stages, people moved from accepting disaster claims to quiet discontent, with some regions seeing unrest. In 2025, if economic decline persists, nationalism may lose its appeal, and citizens could reassess responsibility. Late 2024 saw online criticism of dynamic zero-COVID emerge, suggesting public compliance isn't guaranteed. The trade war's global fallout may further isolate China from markets, weakening recovery prospects and exposing policy weaknesses. The U.S.-China trade war is not merely an economic contest, it's a political lifeline for the CCP. Through deft propaganda and stringent information control, the government has crafted an image of unified support, channeling external pressures into domestic solidarity. Farmers offer restrained backing amid livelihood concerns, professionals balance cost anxieties with patriotism, and students cheer fervently yet harbour job worries. This divided sentiment is temporarily masked by stand-firm rhetoric. Most critically, the trade war provides the CCP an escape, allowing it to pin economic struggles on the US, thus alleviating threats to its legitimacy. History demonstrates this approach is not new. The 1960 Great Famine attributed catastrophe to bad weather and foreign debts to conceal policy failures, and the 2025 trade war similarly blames US coercion to sidestep domestic shortcomings. The 3 years of natural disasters narrative endures, fostering trust in external blame, much like 2025's patriotic education and censorship uphold American aggression as truth. Yet the digital era makes suppressing skepticism harder. Emerging doubts among professionals and students may plant seeds for future reflection. There are no victors in a trade war. The struggles of ordinary citizens, farmers' unsold harvests, professionals' financial pressures, students' uncertain futures should not be overshadowed by geopolitical slogans. For China, the US, or any nation, only setting aside confrontation and engaging in equitable dialogue can avert a mutual loss. China's path forward demands more than nationalist fervor. It requires thoughtful introspection and courageous reform. Thanks for watching and joining us on this journey to unveil China's many layers. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with others, and hit that subscribe button to stay updated. See you in the next video.